This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So I asked you guys a question on the community section just over 24 hours ago, talking about the three, as in Joshua, Wilder, Tyson Fury. Now, for me, as I said in the post there, I'm cool with Dillian Whyte fighting one of these three guys. I'm cool with Big Baby Jarrell Miller, Adam Kownacki, and so and so and so and so. Okay, so I'm perfectly happy with any of that. I'm not that hung up on Undisputed. I would love to see Undisputed, of course, but I'm not putting everything into just Undisputed. But there is a lot of talk about the three, Joshua, Fury, Wilder, as in which fight would you guys like to see? So I gave you guys the three options, just talking about those three. And the first one was Joshua versus Wilder, then Fury versus Wilder part 2, and Joshua versus Fury. And the results are not going to change, so just over 4,000 of you voted, which is probably my highest ever poll, to be fair. And 72% of you said that you would prefer to see Joshua versus Wilder over anything else. And the other two, Fury versus Wilder 2 and Joshua versus Fury, the percentages may go up or down a little bit for each of those, but they're nowhere near going to catch 72% at this point. So it's fair to say Joshua versus Wilder is the resounding favourite for what most boxing fans would love to see. Joshua versus Fury is currently in second place. Again, I don't really see it changing. It's possible it could, but it's unlikely. And Fury versus Wilder, the rematch, is in last place, which happens to be the one that Wilder wants the most. He wants a rematch with Tyson Fury for obvious reasons. Number one, he feels that he can get a rematch in America again, because we know Wilder just doesn't want to travel. He talks about other people traveling, like Joshua and that, but doesn't do it himself, right? But there's a very good chance that Fury might be willing to go to America. Personally, if this fight does happen, the rematch, then for me, I would like it to be in the UK. I think it's only right. Again, people say, but Wilder is a champion, so therefore the challenger should have to travel. But again, on the build-up, you see a lot of the Wilder fans, as in the extremist ones, were saying that Tyson Fury is lineal. Okay, and some of the channels, you know who they are, the Lion ones, where they say that it's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world versus lineal. And currently Tyson Fury is number one in their mind. Why did they say that? Because they thought that this would be an easy cherry pick. Another cherry pick for Wilder to get through. And that's really what should have happened with a Tyson Fury who's been out for so damn long, going through all the kind of things that he has gone through. When he stepped foot in against Wilder on December the 1st, that was not a tip-top, back-in-form Tyson Fury. So imagine what a tip-top shape, back-in-form Tyson Fury will do to him. Okay? So Wilder, he gets gifted a draw. So these people who said that Fury is lineal, that makes him number one, have you noticed they're not saying it anymore? They were only saying it because they thought that Wilder would become lineal. That's the only reason why they were saying it, because they wanted to say, well, he's number one because he beat the man and therefore he's above Joshua. This was their thinking. We all knew the truth, okay? We all knew it. And Tyson Fury should be right now WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And whether or not you put any kind of stock into lineal, personally, I don't. The line's been broken far too many times that there's no way that there is a true linealship. But ultimately, I'm cool with it. If people want to call Tyson Fury lineal, I have no issue with that whatsoever. He's a British fighter, so of course, I'm happy if people want to call him lineal. I have no issues with that. The Ring magazine have Joshua as number one and Tyson Fury number 2 and Wilder number 3. So of course, if you was to put the Ring magazine title on the line for any of these fights, it can only be Joshua versus Fury at this moment in time, because they've already said number 1 versus number 2 can fight for the Ring magazine. So Wilder can no longer be Ring magazine champion. He just can't. And likewise, he can no longer beat Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0. He can no longer beat that because he's now got a draw on his resume, a gifted draw at that. So the fight that most people want to see, Joshua versus Wilder. Can this fight happen? Well, Wilder's already said now on a couple of occasions that he doesn't want the fight anymore. He just doesn't want it. No amount of money could tempt him to fight Joshua now. And beforehand, his reasoning being was that he accepted 15 million and he was willing to come to the UK. We know that he wasn't. And thankfully, A lot of Wilder fans, who I underestimated, to be honest, have now come on side and said, yeah, you know what? It was pretty obvious. Looking back now and being what Wilder's saying now, that he just doesn't want the fight no matter what and all this kind of thing, it's clear to see that it was Wilder that never wanted the fight. When, of course, we all knew this anyway, but there's been a lot of people who have been coerced into believing the Wilder faction. It just wasn't true. So to get this fight done, Joshua has said that I will pay you double your highest ever payday. All you have to do is come to Wembley on April 13th and fight me for undisputed. Remember, Wilder's always said it's not about money, it's about legacy. So money shouldn't even be an issue for him, right? But it is an issue. And of course, the rematch was an issue. But now we've got a date, we've got a venue, and he's been offered double his highest ever payday. People say that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, when these guys fought Deontay Wilder, he got paid in excess of $10 million. Now, bearing in mind, his guarantee for this fight was $4 million, which was double his previous when he fought Luis Ortiz of $2.1 million. But he got a guarantee of $4 million with upside, depending on how the pay-per-views went. Pay-per-views didn't do great. They did okay, but they didn't do great. So either way, he'd been lucky to get 8 or 9 million, but there's some people running around saying how he got 14 million. Okay, let's go with that. So Joshua's offer of double your highest ever payday is a guaranteed $28 million. Guaranteed with upside. Remember, Wilder signed to fight Fury with 4 million guarantee plus upside. Joshua's given him 28 million plus upside. And a guaranteed rematch. Win, lose or draw, there will be a rematch in America. But yet, that's still not good enough. And of course, because of all this, people are now starting to see that it was Wilder who never wanted to fight. I promised my fans, I love my fans. He never did. He never wanted this fight. We all know this. And this is further proof as well. In addition to that, when he signed to fight Tyson Fury, he put in a two-way rematch as well. If he was to win, there will be a rematch. If he was to lose, there will be a rematch. What they didn't do was if there was a draw. They overlooked that part. Nobody predicted a draw. And at this point, there should never have been a draw, and there should only ever have been one winner, and that is Wilder. And this goes to show how badly Tyson Fury exposed him. And people know that. People look and say, well, Tyson Fury wasn't ready, but yet he managed to not only get a draw with Deontay Wilder, but most of us believe he actually won that fight. So Wilder's stock has dropped, his fan base has dropped, as well as there are still a few hangers on, and we know who these people are. These people don't actually want the fight with Joshua. They just don't want it. They would much rather call Joshua a coward and bring up the $50 million when, again, this has been talked about to death. Frank Warren offered to put up the $50 million to fight on BT Sport. Joshua cannot fight on BT Sport. So the $50 million was never actually there. Joshua did say that maybe, I've never seen the money. It was never put into an escrow account or anything like that. I'm not saying that Al Heyman or investors in America couldn't have got the money, but it was just never shown, okay, because it come from Frank Warren. That's all what we know about. But that aside, he's offered $28 million, guaranteed with upside. In other words, the better the pay-per-view does, the more money he can make. Now, people say that this is a $100 million fight. These are the same people who said, why is it that Joshua fans just want to talk about money? We here in America, us Wilder fans here, we don't care about money. We just want to see the best fight the best. Then when he gets a contract, when Wilder gets a contract, they are straight away on their channel saying how this fight shouldn't happen. Do you see where it is that we're going with this one? They never wanted the fight. They never wanted it. And now he's been offered 28 million guaranteed. So again, people say, but it could be a $100 million fight. It could be. There's no guarantees of that, but it could be. But even if it is, that's 28%. Yes, 28 million of 100 million is 28%. Plus upside, plus a guaranteed rematch. People are not looking forward to or looking at the future. What happens if he beats Joshua? What happens? He then gets more than 28 million. More. Now, this is double his highest ever payday, right? Is Joshua getting double his highest ever payday? No, of course he's not. Do you think that if it is a $100 million fight, that Joshua will get 70 million or 72 million and Wilder gets 28? No, of course not. Nowhere even close to it will he get it. Anyway, That's the fight that most people want. They want Wilder versus Joshua. They want undisputed. I don't blame them. As I said before, I'm happy with Tyson Fury fighting Joshua. I'm happy with the Wilder versus Fury rematch, even though that's probably the fight that Wilder's looking at. In fact, he's already said it. He just doesn't want Joshua. He's not interested in undisputed. He wants Fury because there's less chance of Fury knocking him out. Against Joshua, there's a very good chance that Joshua will knock him out. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure he will knock out Wilder. Joshua will spark him out cold. Anyway, until we see it, it's all speculation. And I know that a lot of Wilder fans who are still hanging on just because they just want to hate and just don't want to believe. So many people, their thumbs down and they run away and they come out with garbage because they just don't want the fight. That's all it is. They just don't want the fight. And listen, if you don't want the fight, you don't want the fight. But it seems that most people do. 72% want Joshua versus Wilder. So Wilder, you love your fans, remember, and you promise your fans one face, one name, all this kind of garbage and lies that you've been putting out. April 13th, I hope that we see you there. Drop your thoughts below, click the thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.